Hello and welcome back to Mental Health Hour, and we are now about to go to our part 2 and part 3, which will tackle the interventions for psychosocial trauma and the realities of being a psychosocial relief worker. So going back to you or your organization's work, would you guys please share to us what are the common interventions when you address psychotrauma in disaster situations? What is your organization's choice of intervention, and why did you choose this specific intervention to begin with?
So with Play Forward, kasi we use therapeutic play modules. So it's a play module, and then a play curriculum, and then a play space. So we really have different tools, components na meron nandun sa aming kit. So yung kit namin, talagang laruan talaga siya para sa mga bata. We have storybooks, we have a plush toy called Ming Ming. It's an emotional expressions pillow. Kasi usually children that can't really express their emotions well. So yung mga mata at bibig ni Ming Ming, the pillow, napapalitan siya. Depende dun sa kung ano yung emotion ng bata. And then yun yung pwede niyang ipakita dun sa kanyang facilitator. Since we believe in holistic health, may mga traditional Filipino games kami. Pero nandun sa processing on how yung lessons ma-evolve siya dun sa physical activity. So it's not just play for us. We take play seriously. Yun yung tagline ng proyekto namin. And we want to make it happen sa lahat ng mga bata because we believe naman that play is the most fundamental way for them to learn. In terms of our program, Play Forward on the Move, we train psychological first aid sa mga teachers, sa mga community leaders, sa mga parents, so that they could support naman na yung mga anak nila and then to make it more sustainable. Kagaya nga na sinabi ko kanina, ang hirap na iiwan mo lang ng ganun yung estado ng buhay nila after na mabigay mo sa kanila yung intervention. Kasi after nun, kailangan pa rin naman nila yung needs pa rin naman nila yun eh. Para sa amin kasi psychosocial support goes from not just from the response pero hanggang dun sa rehabilitation phase ng isang tao or ng isang bata. Pero the whole process na yun, hindi naman pa pwedeng kami yung nagbibigay. Kailangan pati the community would know how to support yung mga constituents nila, and yun would know how to support yung needs ng mga bata. So, yun yung ginagawa namin. Yung module namin is composed of, it was made by Ateneo Bulatao. So, meron din kaming pre-test and post-test na binibigay sa mga bata. And we have periodic monitoring sa kanila. So, after our intervention, nagpupunta kami 2 weeks, then conduct FGDs, see kung ano yung changes na meron doon sa mga bata, and then doon sa mga parents, and then the whole community. And then may periodic monitoring kami every month kung kamusta na yung mga bata or may impact ba talaga yung proyekto namin. Because yun, ultimately, yun naman talaga yung gusto natin makita. If may mabuting impact, dahil ayaw naman natin na nakasama tayo sa kanila, di ba? So, gusto natin makita na may mabuting impact yung ginagawa natin para sa kanila. So, it's a whole cycle. It's a full circle yung pinoprovide namin na intervention sa isang community.
So, do you have a system in which you follow to conduct or administer your psychosocial interventions? Like, how do you go about it? How do you give the kits to kids? How do you administer the play curriculum?
Yes. So what we do is we partner with a government agency or an LGU. So yung pinaka-recent namin was Surigao earthquake. So we partnered with DepEd and then World Vision. So si DepEd, sila yung nag-identify ng area or ng community na mas nangangailangan. So we gave them basic na criteria lang on choosing kung sino yung mga kids na dapat nandun sa ating proyekto. And then yung mga parents na dapat kasama rin. Saka yung mga dapat nating i-train. So we train 30 facilitators made up of teachers. So grade school teachers sila. So, na-employ nila yung skills nila as a teacher dun sa ating programa. But at the same time, nagkaroon din sila ng new learnings on how to better support yung mga bata nila. Not just dun sa ating intervention period, pero pati yung mga bata na kasama nila sa classroom or yung mga learners nila afterwards. So, we trained them for 3 days and then ginawa yung intervention sa mga bata yung following 2 days. And on that aspect, tinignan talaga namin kung ano yung kasi makikita mo na may mga sudden changes naman na makikita sa mga bata after that intervention. Kung meron na silang mga positive reinforcement or if the project provided positive reinforcement na sa kanila.
So, from a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel?
Ikaw na nagtapos, Day.
How do you feel, or how efficient or effective is your choice of intervention for the constituents that you administer them to? Like, in a scale of 1 to 10, how effective is it for you?
Parang grade my own paper. What we do naman kasi since may mga impact studies kami. So it's a parang third person, totally objective dun sa proyekto to see if may impact talaga yung proyekto natin. So sila yung gumagawa ng kanilang monitoring standards in terms dun sa qualitative and quantitative na data na kailangan natin dun sa project. Based naman dun sa mga report na binigay nila and then statistics na binigay nila sa atin, there is a significant result naman tayo na nakita natin nakakatulong talaga yung proyekto. Nakita natin na the project not only addresses yung psychosocial support needs na kailangan ng mga bata, pero it also goes deeper pa na parang nakikita natin kung ano yung cause na nagsisimula ng trauma ng mga bata. Nakikita natin na may mga family problems din pala. Like yung tipong simple na hindi ko kasi nakakausap yung anak ko ng mas deeper than hi, hello. Yun yung nakita natin na isang gap in terms of how the Filipino families are now today. So, dahil with the advent of technology, hindi na rin sila ganun nakakapag-usap as a family. Hindi na nila alam kung ano yung nararamdaman ng isa't isa. So, with that study, it goes deeper yung pagbigay ng suporta dun sa community na yun din naman pinaprovide namin sa kanila na itong data na to, itong nakuha namin na monitoring, ito kasi yung naging cause kung bakit nakadagdag sa trauma ng bata.
Okay.
Sabi lang, great eh.
I'm not the expert kasi on it. I don't have the title. I'm not naman. So, syempre, bibigay ko yung kung sino yung gumawa ng ating impact study.
So anyway, how about you, Mr. Ronald?
Ano pinag-uusapan natin?
Mr.
Bakit
Cole?
tinapili
The question was,
why was it the chosen intervention?
yes, share to us the common interventions when addressing psychotrauma in disaster situations. Why was it your choice of intervention, and what are the specific activities that constitutes the specific intervention that your organization chose? And do you have a system that you follow, and at the same time, how would you rate the efficiency or effectivity of the specific intervention?
Pero yung sagot namin na pagpasok namin, yun na nandun eh. When I was a grad student, in-enroll ko siya, no? EMDR. We're talking about EMDR. In-enroll ko siya. Then, part of the course output was to process your own trauma. Kasi lahat naman tayo na trauma eh. Wala naman hindi na-trauma siguro. So, nakita ko very effective siya sa mga bagay-bagay. Okay? So, after that, naging close friend ko yung professor ko, which is also the foundress of EMDR Philippines. So, she developed the people she trained, she developed a parang focus group, which kami nga yung 8 na kami yung parang national pool of trainers. Kaya doon kami napunta. Okay? And since pinupush kasi niya yung EMDR in the Philippines, Kasi it's the second recognized psychological intervention, not only for trauma but in general, aside from CBT, which I also practice. Pero kinupush siya in the Philippines. That was parang the guise why the Hope Clinic was created. No? So what do we do? As I mentioned a while ago, eye movement desensitization to processing. Paano natin pagaganahin yung mata mo? Gumagana naman through saccading movements ang mata mo. We make use of bilateral stimulation. Bilateral stimulation is, by the name itself, is stimulate both sides of your body. Either by tapping, so tap kang ganyan, or by using yung traditional or like the pinaka textbook way, or what Westerners prefer is using yung ganyan. Siyempre, hindi sinabi ko lang ganyan, hindi nila makikita. So, sikreto na lang namin 4 yun. Basta yung ganyan. So, by using that, no? So, it involves, ang tina-target talaga is the cognition. It's when we ask for, kasi we use a form called TISES. So, theme, image, cognition, emotion, sensation, and then SAGS, or basta how much you experience it from a scale of 0 to 10. So, ang talagang tina-target is the cognition. But the vehicle that we use is through the traumatic experience that you have. Kasi if you understand trauma theory, it means everything's either big T or small t. Parang ganyan. Basta ganyan. Nasaan ako? Nasa Ateneo. That's what we use. Pero in situations where we use that for individual clients. For example, rape. Like my last patient was raped this morning. Now, nagulat ka. For mga mass naman, mass meaning a lot of people, we use, like what I said, IGTP, which is just like EMDR, but we make use of drawing. Di ba ang creative namin? Drawing, how drawing? You draw your safe place, and then you draw what troubles you, and then tap, para kang timang. Then, sabi nakita mo pag ginagawa mo kasi ng mga timang. Tapos, you draw the next image that you saw, then tap ulit, and then the last image, and then installation wherein we give you, or you give yourself your own positive cognition, which counters the traumatic experience that you felt. Okay? So that's what we do. For TRE naman, it involves mga muscle. There's a set of exercises na hindi ko kayang gawin kasi mataba ako. Pero sa mga payat, tulad sa inyong 4, kayang-kaya na yan. Masarap na kayong panoorin. Okay? Iyon lang naman. And ano pa yung tanong mo kanina?
How would you rate it? How would you rate its efficiency?
Nothing's perfect except for us, then, charing. Well, I believe that the true test for these kinds of things is if the person or group of people would experience the same event, and we would know what kind of reaction they would have. When we just came from Ormoc, we landed in Manila. 2 days later, natapilok na naman ako kaya lumindol ulit doon. So, we were told by the local government and by the school that we were administered it, na they didn't react like tulad nung sa primera. And they were able to manage themselves on their own, and they were able to do the tapping exercises on their own sa sarili nila. In my professional experience with patients na doing EMDR one-on-one, usually, pag gagawin mo siya as a psychologist, ikaw yung tipong hindi ka naghahanap ng profit kasi mayaman ka na. Kasi walang income. In the sense na it's only a 1-session thing. 2 sessions kasi 1 session interview. Then 1 session kind of thing. Then pag finalo up mo, wala nang problema. Okay? So, yun nga, hindi siya pagkita. Meaning, it is really effective. So that's what I would say. Okay, I would give it a 10. Not based on my skill, but on the mismo protocol itself. It's very effective. Even for multiple trauma. It's very, very effective. And the results are seen immediate nga eh. Like, kunwari, pumasok si pasyente, siya yung disrevolved talaga na, oh my God, yung mga ganong itsura. Then, an hour and 30 minutes or so later, saya-saya ng buhay na itsura niyan type. So it's very, very effective.
Okay.
Ikaw naman.
I guess the only thing I'll add to that is in the...
Hindi, yung sa'yo.
Yeah, we'll go there. But in the history or the literature of interventions in disasters, before it was psychological debriefing, mostly it was about that. recalling, talking about what happened, and processing it, helping the people who endured or experienced the trauma, who are unable to talk about it, unable to function well. So that was then. But literature suggested, and over the years they found that it wasn't as effective. So other forms of intervention came out or were tested. One of them was the established PFA. A lot of literature have already supported their efficacy, and the good thing about that, I would say, is that anyone who was trained a little bit can facilitate it. It doesn't need too much of a professional. So once you teach it to someone, they can conduct it also. They can conduct it to their brother, sister, mother, father, neighbor. And with that, with PFA, it really is just about checking up on the person, seeing what they went through, what's happening, and helping them connect to whatever things that they would need, whether it be resources, people. So it's mostly about that. And that's why that was the most immediate response that is being used, in not just in the Philippines, but across. And the other one, Katatagan, it was devised to find a more effective, hopefully, form of intervention for the Filipinos. Because other forms of intervention, let's say utilizing CBT, is very Western-oriented. And although effective in literature, it may have different effects with the Filipino population. Sometimes it will take longer even, or not as effective. So, with the constant struggle with that, a lot of interventions are being made, conducted, and checked, and Katatagan is one of them. And right now, because it's relatively new, a lot of testing is made in the process, and limitations are found. The beauty of measuring it and making it into a study, you can check and validate if some things work, some things don't work, and continuously it will grow and be adapted further on down the road to see what will work most and best for the Filipino population. So with that, rating it, I would say the former one is through what you see and what people say na lang. If they see, because at that time, as I recall, talking to those people who underwent the Yolanda disaster, the people themselves were reporting how they felt afterwards, or how they were feeling, or what were they thinking. And there wasn't much of post-test going on after that. And in regards of checking in, at that time, one of our partners there were the institutions and the Jesuits allocated in that area, and that's how we monitored the situation. And with Katatagan, like I mentioned a while ago, it's through pre-test and post-tests.
How do the recipients of the chosen intervention respond to your activities? Like, can you cite some examples of some of their remarkable reactions of responses to your activities?
Paano sagutin tanong mo? Di masaya. Di na sila buang, masaya, wala na sila iniintindi.
No, I mean, yung for kids, for example, for kids, meron akong isang, sa isang, namin, sabi niya, ganito na lang bang buhay natin lagi? So, parang, drama diba? Hulaan mo kailang taon?
Ilan?
4 years old.
Paluin mo.
Tapos, gano'n na yung sinabi niya. For a 4-year-old to see na yung tatay mo namatay because of a disaster, yung bahay mo nawala, muntik ka nang malunod, nakakapit ka lang sa puno para mabuhay ka. Pag ganun yung konteksto, saka mo lang marirealize na, ay, ay, tangina, okay, kaya pala ganun yung sinabi ng bata. Dahil yun yung konteksto nung nangyari sa kanya. But if you don't have that lens, pag hindi mo siya nakita, yun yung sasabihin mo kagad, drama naman ng batang to. 4 years old pa lang, yun na kagad yung sasabi niya. Pwede siya maging artista. Pero in the context of that, dun mo marirealize na they're not just cases, they're not just tapos nawala. So, yun yung context. So, children in disaster respond differently. And yung kung nakaka-apekto rin kung nasaan silang parte. So, children in urban area respond differently than children in rural area. And then, malaking factor kung gaano sila ka-close dun sa kanilang family. Malaki rin factor kung ano yung ginagawa nila dun sa community the time na nangyari yung disaster sa kanila. So, yung iba, kahit years after na, for example, Yolanda, 3 years after, bumalik, nung binalikan ang mga tao sa Yolanda, meron pa ring trauma na makikita mo at prevalent sa mga bata. Physical manifestation would be, nanginginig sila, makarinig lang sila ng kulog, umiiyak sila, makakita lang sila ng ulan. And those are something na indicator mo na kaagad na karanas ng trauma yung bata at hindi na-address. In Isabela naman, after Typhoon Lawi, nagkaroon ng flash flood sa kanila. So, ngayon, tumatawid sila sa river para lang makapasok sa kanilang school dahil totally wash out yung bridge nila, yung road nila, lahat natabunan ng putek. Pero yung mga bata ay masasabi namin na resilient in such a way na nakikita nila yung kahalagahan ng pagiging masaya at pagiging kasama ng mga kaibigan nila despite kung ano yung nangyari sa kanila. Here in urban areas naman, medyo iba rin yung approach or iba yung way of coping ng mga bata dito sa urban area. Mas madali silang malungkot, mas madali silang ma-depress. It may be, yun nga, dahil nga, iba rin yung way of living dito, masyadong fast-paced.
Wala kasing puno.
Na makakapitan pag bumaha. Pero, yun yung mga nakikita namin. After the intervention, fulfilling yung makita mong masaya sila. Even right after ng one day na pag-provide ng activity sa kanila, iba yung makikita mo na and genuine. Kasi bata, hindi naman sila nagsisinungaling, di ba? Pag sinabi naman nila masakit yung tiyan ko, masakit talaga yung tiyan nila. Pag sinabi naman nila na nagugutom ako, nagugutom naman talaga sila. So, yun yung nakakatuwa. Dahil pag nakita mo na yung smile sa kanila, nakita mo na nag-enjoy sila sa ginagawa nila. Pero at the same time, nasasabi nila yung mga learnings na meron, na napupulot nila dahil dun sa mga activities na ginawa nila. It's pero nakakatuwa for a kid, for us to see those kids na gano'n na yung naging perspective nila.
How about the two of you? What are,
Hirap sagutin ang tanong mo, Day.
remarkable responses from your constituents that you administered your interventions to? Are there, yung parang, you can remember talaga na, wow, talagang nag-work yung intervention?
Lagi naman ganun Lagi
something.
naman ganun. Basta sinunod mo yung protocol ng maayos. Lagi naman ganun. Wala akong maisip na remarkable really. Kasi laging ang ganun. Dead air. Nag-iisip muna.
For my experience at least, I can remember clearly when we went there. Even prior the intervention, some of the people there were smiling, laughing. They were playing together. Bonding. So that's where I saw firsthand what people would say Filipino resilience is as a community. Then I just think that the reason the difference is so clear from urban and rural areas is for urban situations, reactions to calamity or disasters is exacerbated more by poverty, which is more evident here in Manila, for example, compared in other places in provinces. Well, going back there, even prior to the intervention, some people can cope well, given the right support or resources. But for some who find it difficult to cope, or who really struggle how to handle things personally, who we give the intervention to, afterwards, they find a certain calmness, which is the goal naman for a lot of interventions, to give support, strength, to give calmness, to help them move forward. And knowing that some of these people begin to say na, tomorrow or next week, kukuha kami ng kahoy para sa ganyan. Or bukas, huhukayin namin yung lupa para mabukasan yung tubig. So hearing things like that reinforces the goal and the mission of each intervention naman. Although interventions may vary, most of them have the goal naman talaga of really helping the people recover more, to cope better. So most of the time we see those, and it's very rare, or if there are cases that it doesn't seem to be working, sometimes it just warrants more personal intervention, like counseling. So more one-on-one, which we also did back then. Sometimes talking in groups, working in groups, you see one child who's just in the corner, who's just quiet, or one adult who's clearly angry. Sometimes they find it more challenging to process these things in the group, and they need more assistance on a personal level.
So I think some of you have already answered this question. However, I would like to ask it again if ever you have anything more to say.
Okay.
How do you measure the impact of your interventions? How do you measure the impact of your interventions?
Mga standardized rating scales. Mga pre-test, post-test. Kung creative ka, measuring tapes. Kala mo hindi mag-joke, no? Yun lang, mga pre-test, post-test.
For children, kinortunized lang namin siya in such a way na para mas madaling maintindihan nila. And then we train then the facilitators to na explain sa kanila kung ano yung mga pre-test, post-test namin para mas maintindihan ng mga bata.
I can say na yun pre-test and post-test rin, check the validity, reliability of interventions, of the scales used. And more than that, parang I think it's important is parang what do people see themselves, like weeks from now, months from now, how are they now? Talking to them, if are they able to move forward, are able to get back up. So parang scales and tests say a lot of things, but at the same time, that doon papasok yung qualitative part of it. Like for quantity, it's really tests, but for quali, it's the interviews and all of those things together.
So most of the time, it's your organizations that follow up on the constituents. Then you don't leave it to like the LGU or something.
For us kasi for the LGU, yung part naman kasi ng LGU is continuation eh. Pero for us to have validity dun sa mga ginagawa ng mga LGU after ng intervention namin, kailangan kami nagmo-monitor nung proyekto namin, since it's parang yun naman yung basis then to know how our project works sa kanila. And then, what can we improve better then dahil nagdedepende din siya dun sa area and then the culture and then yung meron dun sa community. So what we do is we employ or we get outside services on that aspect para mas objective yung maging impact study report na makukuha nung proyekto.
For Bulatao Center, at least, in the planning stage pa lang, a lot of conceptualization on how to check if it works, that's very important for us. So, aside from the pre-test and post-test nga, we check up once after 6 months, for example, of how they are now. And just to see talaga if what can be tweaked more. Because a lot of our programs and interventions, we try to adapt to the needs talaga of the people we're gonna interact with. So a lot of like the before planning and everything, that's a lot of work pa lang. And even in the middle, I have experienced one of the programs and interventions we provided. Even during those 3 days, like afterwards, we would be in our rooms until 2 in the morning, finding ways to adapt it more, like how it would suit the people involved. Because after the first day, we would see, oh, they respond in this way. Maybe we can adapt this more. We can change this or tweak that. Then wake up the next morning, do that, and then in the evening, do it the same way again. So not everything is set in stone. I guess that's why it works well also. That a lot of adapting and flexibility is involved with that.
Feeling ko naman yun yung pinaka-importante in any project that we do is yung continuous improvement din ng proyekto. And then yung flexibility rin, not just of the project, but of the people handling ng project. Kasi ang ultimate goal mo naman is the community, di ba? To help the community the community develop their own skills. The community develop yung mga bata, right? So, since yun yung ultimate goal mo naman, syempre you need to adapt then or localize yung approaches mo based dun sa needs of the community.
Okay. Generally speaking, is it difficult to do psychosocial first aid or relief work during or after disasters or traumatic events? Or how difficult is it?
Nasa personality yan.
Okay.
Ako kasi, I'm a very cognitive person. And to be honest, I only have the body of an elephant. What does that mean? After a session, kung hindi ko sinulat, nakakalimutan ko lahat ng pinag-usapan. Kasi yun nga, I'm very cognitive. At saka ako, every time I step into the situation, I always have the understanding na this is your problem, this is not my problem. Ikaw yung na-rape, hindi naman ako na-rape, ang tuwa ko lang. You get what I mean? Ganun kasi ako. So, I believe it's very difficult for other people. Kasi especially yung mga very emotional people na nasa-suck in sila sa person. Okay, no problem. So, I would really say it depends on the personality that you have. Yung technique kasi, parang ano lang yan eh. Kunwari sa sandwich, kasi sandwich yung kinain namin. Yung technique, parang tinapay lang yan eh. Yung palaman, which is really important, yun yung personality mo. How you deal with it. Technique, kahit anong technique, pare-pareho lang naman yung result. So it really depends. From my opinion and experience, it really depends on the person.
How about the others?
Kala nakatakas kayo?
Go after. My response to that is parang in terms of doing work like this, which can, it does take a toll on certain people, especially if you, for example, empathize a lot, which you feel like that thing happened to you, vicarious trauma, and then
Compassion fatigue.
Yeah, compassion fatigue. So there's a certain dissociation needed. You're able to separate yourself from the person or the problem. And this also suggests a lot of self-care afterwards. That's very important, not just for the victims, but the helpers, more importantly, actually.
Well, I did a group processing for a organization that handles human trafficking. Sana notice ko sa kanila, yung pinaka-stress is they're not satisfied sa naging outcome at buhay ng mga naging na-rescue nilang bata. Nasabi ko lang sa kanila, sino ka ba? Okay, are you a professional or mga nanay at tatay ba kayo? That's what do you mean? Why are you directing the person's life? Learn to let go na ayaw niyang mag-improve. Anong gagawin mo? If you've done everything, di ba? Pero yun yung isang danger, Yun yung isang danger kasi marami kasing taong na nasa-suck in sila masyado sa pasyente. Marami kasing yung nabablur yung lines na empathy versus sympathy. Nakawawa naman yung bata, I will strive. You have this kind of thinking, I will strive to make sure that everything and anything I do to this person, this child, this human being, whatever, will make sure, I'll make sure that his life will be good or bad. Pero hindi naman ikaw yung nag-call ng shots. Kung talagang ganun yung bata, paano? Yun yung, or the person. Ganun kasi yung isang na-observe kong problem is nasa-suck in masyado.
So you internalize the problem
Nati-trigger ka, as I would say. Like, you should be responsible enough to biglang seryoso yung mood, You should be responsible enough to learn to step back. Especially pag natitrigger ka. For example, you're a rape survivor or your children survived rape or whatnot. Then you're dealing with a patient na rape din or something like that. Tapos you start parang making sure na whatever. You get what I mean? You have to learn na parang, oops, same issue tayo sa buhay. I'm not aware of myself. I'm not aware of my issues. Refer na lang kita sa iba. Yun kasi yung danger Yung natitrigger sila, hindi nila alam.
And to add to that na rin,
hindi ka na pinasalita.
sorry. To add to that, parang if you know or the person is aware that they're going through something, or for example, even more that the issue or the thing that they're gonna face is closely related to what they've gone through, it should be a factor, or they should be really careful in handling that because they can be easily triggered, like it was mentioned, and they can empathize a lot. So it depends on how the person can use it. One, it can either be helpful that they can empathize a lot because it's so close to their heart, or that they can be compromised easily. They won't be able to function well or doing that intervention because moving forward, who is it for? But they're doing a service for someone else, and it's gonna be really challenging if sila rin kailangan alagaan along the way.
Yung ego mo, kailangan may control.
Okay,
ikaw
so...
naman.
Nasama niya na lahat
Hindi mo lang just
So
right.
anyway,
Thank you.
how does one train to become a good psychosocial aid or relief worker?
I want to target the usage of the word good because there's no such, in this world, there's no such thing as good or bad. You might be good from the eyes of your patient, but bad in the eyes of your kapwa psychologist or whatnot. I think what you should have said is, di ba pinagalitan kita, is beneficial. How could you be a beneficial worker? And as I was saying kanina, kailangan wala kang ego. Dapat clear sa'yo, what are you here for? Are you here to boost yourself or are you here to generate or be the catalyst for change in the patient? Kaya for example, in my style, na I noticed that a lot of psychologists in the Philippines do this, is that I always ask for feedback. Feedback in what sense? Feedback na, what can I improve in myself to better facilitate? You want me to change my language? You want me to change the curtains in our therapy room? Pink kasi pero totoo. Ako pumili nun, bakit? Pero bakit ba? Gusto mo blue? Pero yeah, that's an actual question.
Kasi does it trigger...
No, wala lang. Kasi yun yung nakita namin sa bodega. Pinadala galing States, sabi pwede kasi alam nga naman gawing basahan. So ginawa namin pink. But yeah, parang gano'n. Like, do you want me to change the curtains? Masyado bang malamig yung kwarto? Am I too loud? Am I too soft? Ganyan. Kasi not a lot do that. So that's the number one question I think every psychologist or any worker in this kind of field should ask in the morning. pagkatapos pag-toothbrush, kasi parang hirap naman magtanong pag mabaho yung hininga mo, is what are you here for? What is your goal? Is it for your ego, or is it for the betterment, the genuine betterment of your patient or the people you will meet? And once you have the answer to that question, then you will be a beneficial psychologist.
So, one of the most important qualities for or to be a beneficial or an efficient psychosocial aid worker or relief worker is not having an ego or leaving your ego
At
out the door.
Oo. Exactly. Ikaw, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean,
Ikaw din.
kasi I wear different hats. Like outside, we're a friend, a son, a daughter. But once we enter that room, we wear the counselor hat, the counselor hat, or the helper hat. So we have to be aware who we are at that moment. For example, someone shares a story about what they went through, and we went through something similar. We can say, I know that, or parang, dapat ganito yung gawin mo. Sometimes it's different. Every situation, every experience is unique. And there has to be also a sense of respect for what the person is going through. At the same time, with all the other things going on, afterwards there is sometimes the feelings of guilt, disappointment, regret.
Totoo.
And it's hard to move on from that. So what can be helpful moving forward is being aware of them and addressing them, that sometimes we're not saviors.
Just ain't enough.
Yeah. We're not saviors, we're not messiah. There's only so much we can do.
Lang.
So that's an important thing to take note of, that we're sometimes just helping, guiding, facilitating, but we're not actually there to make a miracle, to heal.
Yung sa amin naman, ang lagi namin sinasabi with our trainers, with our volunteer facilitators, is you just provide opportunities for the kids. And that opportunity would go a long way. Pero ultimately, yung mga bata, yung kailangan maka-gets nung kung ano yung binibigay mong intervention sa kanila. And sila yung mag-integrate nun sa buhay nila. So what we say to them is, walang tama, mali na ginagawa yung mga bata. Walang tama o mali na pag-color ng apple, kahit na ba yung kinulayan niya ay yung outside at yung apple ay walang kulay.
Purple.
walang tama at mali dun sa mga black pala.
Purple. Barney, bakit?
Walang tama o mali. Yun yung lagi namin sinasabi. And, syempre, pagdating naman sa psychological first aid, since lay persons naman yung mag-provide sa kanila, we always say to them na don't forget to close any wounds na you open. Yun yung mahirap eh. Usually, since in the community, masyadong nagiging involved sila dun sa lives na nung mga bata or dun sa lives nung kapwa nila kasama dun sa community. Dahil magkakasama lang naman din talaga sila. Pero what we always say to them is, don't forget na buhay pa rin nila yon. So, sila pa rin naman yung may ultimate choice kung ano yung gawin nila sa buhay nila. And it's not your responsibility to save them. Pwede mo lang gawin sa kanila is to provide them an opportunity. And then the people, sila na yung dapat yung gumawa or mag-grab ng opportunity na yun.
Believe na ako sa kanya, kaya niya mag-work with kids eh. Hindi ko kaya bata.
Bakit?
I don't like kids. Pero aside from